grab your controllers and put on your headsets and turn on your consoles because this is the Ready Player Pete Show! Yeah, nice these very sunny skies. Very huge of the big city, right in the middle of this beach. And hello over there. Hello everybody. Welcome to the city, but not just any city, because this city is all about is when someplace is nice and always sunny. Because I'll tell you why. Because the game I'm gonna review is one with this shirt is, and also what is this dog is who's the owner. Because I'll tell you in this video. Because this video I'm gonna review is Grand Theft Auto 5. So Grand Theft Auto 5 is a really popular and very crime and a thief video game that everybody likes to free roam around the city of the Los Santos, Blaine County, and San Andreas. And now for this, when a young street hustler, a retired bank robber, and a terrifying psychopath find themselves entangled with some of the most frightening and deranged elements of the criminal underworld, the U.S. government, and the entertainment industry. They must pull off a series of dangerous heists to survive in a ruthless city in which they can trust nobody, least of all each other. Because there are three of them. There are three of them: the young street hustler, a retired bank robber, and a terrifying psychopath. Now we're gonna see, and we're gonna look them up, and we're gonna see what this game is about, and we're gonna talk about the protagonists and what the protagonists' vehicles they drive, and who is the antagonist. And now let's head straight for the video. Now, what this game is about is Grand Theft Auto 5 is a action adventure game set in the fictional state of San Andreas, focusing on three criminals: retired bank robber, the young street hustler, gangster. And Franklin, and a terrifying psychopath, chaotic dealer, Trevor. But the retired bank robber is Michael. who perform high stakes heists and under pressure from government agencies and criminals. And when a young street hustler, a retired bank robber, and a terrifying psychopath find themselves entangled with some of the most frightening criminal underworld of the U.S. government and the entertainment industry, they must survive in ruthless city in which they can trust nobody, least of all each other. So you see, there are three criminals. One is street hustler, and one is a retired bank robber, and one is a terrifying psychopath. So we'll get to their names and see who these protagonists they really are. So they need to find their way to get through the underworld of the city of Los Santos through heists and any types of jobs, and when they get ready to rob. So we're gonna probably take a good look and see if when these three criminals are on the adventure and on the dangerous quest missions. So we have to gonna probably know that these three are really up to the test. So we had to see if they're ready up for hire, if which one of them are perfect for the right job. So now we're probably gonna move on to the three protagonists. Now we're gonna start off with the number one. This protagonist, he's my favorite. He's my favorite that I like. His name is first up, number one, Michael DeSanta. Michael DeSanta. He's my favorite character. He is a retired, highly successful bank robber who faked his death in 2004 to enter an informal witness protection agreement with a corrupt FIB agent, Dave Norton. So he was successful as a bank robber, and but he's back at his time when he's in the place in the beginning of the game in North Yankton. Because when he was with Trevor and Brad, and then when he was in the middle of the snow and in North Yankton, he was in the bank, and when him and Brad and Trevor are they're in the bank, they're bank robbing a bank, and then afterwards, after the bank robbing, that when they got all the money they can gather and pardon me, and then they to flee and get away from the cops when the cops are trying to go after them, trying to stop them as much as they can. And then they got away, but Trevor survived and he escaped, but Michael and Brad cannot make it. But Brad didn't make it But as for Michael, he got shot, but he just faked his death. But he came back. He's not dead, but he's still alive. He just only faked his death, and then he ended up in Los Santos. And he's glad that he's alive. But he's shot by his own corrupt FIB agent, known as his name. Like I said, his name is Dave Norton. And his background and early life, his birth and origin. He was born in 1965 or 1968, depending of the source, in North Yankton, and his rough childhood. He grew up in a trailer park with a abusive alcoholic father who later abandoned the family. So seems like Michael probably got a rough time with in the trailer park when his father is being abusive to him. That Michael's father is a abusive alcoholic, and that he later abandoned the family. That is called abandonment. Abandonment. What kind of a father that wants to abandon his own family, that he doesn't want to be part of it? That is very cruel. That is very cruel. That it went during the childhood in his life. And as for early crime, Michael was high school football quarterback, but turned to a life of crime as a teenager. He was first in prison at age 16. So he's probably he was turned out at the age of crime when he wants to turn out to be like a criminal, but Michael wants. Sounds like to me that Michael wants to be capable of so much more. He wants to rob banks because he wants to be a bank robber. But as a long time before this beginning of the story of this game, that he feels retired. He wants to be retired, and he wants to move on to a new life and become a father and want to raise a family, want a good wife, wants two kids, uh, and what kind of a father that he wants to be, and what kind of a husband he will be when he has a wife. But somehow he somehow Michael he's just trying his best. But I'm sure he's just let to have lot of things beyond his mind. And the crime and now for the crime of the crime Dymic. In his 20s, he became an expert marksman and heist leader. He partnered with Lester Crest and Trevor Phillips to execute massive bank robberies across the Midwest. So by this, when I said he is he's an he became an expert marksman. Michael is a very good top gun shooter. That he's a good shot with his own gun when he has a gun. Sorry, and he just and he every guns he does like automatics or sniper rifles, and like any kind of weapon he can use, it can count, because he's a good marksman of any weapons he can use, or whatever weapon for the right job. Because whatever you do, whatever you need Michael, he's a perfect. If you need a perfect marksman, he's a perfect one for the job. And as he is a heist leader, he's a good planner, because he's a good planner that he wants to get once he gets all his crew, get all his crew, and think the plan over of the heists and also whatever jobs, and whatever job that he pulled off is that he wants before he starts the job, and before the whole crew and himself starts going, he explains the plan and how this plays out, and how we go in, how do we go out, and everything and everybody come out alive okay. So Michael, he is a good heist leader to explain things out, to see if we can accomplish his goal for the heist, including any jobs to rob. And his partner, he partnered with Lester Crest. Lester, he's probably a tech computer genius that he uses surveillance, and also he looks eyes and ears, and also he can hack technologies that he can track down anybody. But because Lester is like a genius. He knows anything that's part of a plan that Michael's operating of the heist, or any job. But if you need some help at anything like that, in the story, that Lester knows the way. Because Lester Crest, he's very high tech genius. And now for Michael's his special ability is bullet time, because Michael can slow down time during gunfights to dramatically increase his shooting accurate, because his ability is slow down time during gunfights, because when Michael's in a gunfight in the middle of a mission, when you activate his ability, he slowed down his time. That you see the slow motion when you saw him do the slow motion when you point a gun at the enemy during his mission, and the enemy is slowing down right in front of him, and then he can get an accurate shot at the enemy, that when you slow down time, and then like slowing down, because he can take down enemies and slow down time during gunfights. But slow down time with gunfights is really cool. Like that kind of ability that the enemy cannot shoot first, but except if you make Michael to shoot first quickly before the enemy does, because it's really good, that ability. If Michael is slowed down time with bullets, and his personality is cynical, narcissistic, and short-tempered, yet deeply desperate to be a good family man. He obsessed with classic Vinewood cinema, and later realized his dream of becoming a legitimate film producer, because Michael, he's a bit he's still a good guy. I still believe in him in there. But when I was playing in that while I'm playing the game, he's a bit he seems okay, but he's probably a bit out of sorts of his temper. Like, he's just a little bit out of sorts of his temper, and some temper with his family, of his own wife and his own kids. Like it's like this when I know that probably he has a temper. Well, actually, his temper when the part that he smashed his own son named Jimmy, smashed Jimmy's TV in his bedroom. That kind of temper, and then but Michael should have done that, because he if he does that, he's gonna buy him another one, because he should have turned off his own son Jimmy's TV, but instead of smashing it with the chair. Because his own son Jimmy is being rude and disrespectful, that he wants him to go away while he's playing his video game. But Michael should have turned off the TV instead of smashing it. And as for his own daughter Tracy, that he's being like. Well, I'm really glad that Michael is there to protect. He's being a protective father of his own daughter, but somehow other things that Tracy wants to be a star on Fame or Shame, but somehow Michael messed it up again. Because Michael has a tough time to let it go, to let her daughter do things that what she wants to do, but because she wants to do things in his life to be a star, but. But Michael just keeps getting in the way, and that's where he has a hot tempered with his well, not hot tempered, but he has a temper with his wife. His wife Amanda DeSanta. He just make fun or embarrassed or teasing, or his jokes are a bit or his jokes to making fun of Amanda, of his own wife, is a bit obnoxious. But it's probably, he should have treated his wife better and make her happy. But he's a bit desperate. But despite of all his mistakes, and he's abusive tempered, he changes ways, and he changes his own heart. But Michael has a good heart to his family when his family reunited back to him. And later, he wants to follow his dream to be a movie producer. He wants to be a movie. He wants to make movies, because when he said to Trevor, I just want to make movies. He wants to be a movie guy. But being a movie guy, that's quite a good, perfect job for him. Then he wants to dream of wants to make movies. And now for number 2 is we're up to this one. This second protagonist, Franklin Clayton. Now, Franklin Clayton, he's born and raised in South Los Santos. He depicted as a young ambitious and highly capable street hustler who climbs his way up at the criminal criminal heritage to become a multi-millionaire kingpin. So he wants to be probably a $1 million kingpin, like a boss, because ever since when GTA online that we saw Franklin, that Franklin when he's dressed like that we see him, that he looked probably that we gotta purchase the agency and stuff like that. But we probably saw him like he wants to be a multi-millionaire kingpin, like a boss, like a CEO. And he is and then in the story he's a highly capable street hustler. Like he's a street hustler with all other gang families along the streets in South Los Santos, but he's really calm and a very cool guy. He's calm, cool, and like to keep things chill, but he's a great guy. And because he's and over his overview and personal data, Franklin Clinton is his full name Franklin Clinton is his full name, and his date of birth is March 23rd and 1988, but his age is age 25 during the events of GTA 5. And his affiliations is the families, Chamberlain gangster, Chamberlain gangster families, Forum gangsters, F for Franklin, Clinton, and partner. So he's probably a partner. We will get to that. And his birthplace is South Los Santos, San Andreas, because we all know the part of GTA games that in the city that the name of the city is called Los Santos, but San Andreas, like in the we know the game is probably different design of the graphics. The game is called Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, but that's why when they call it Los Santos San Andreas, but just only Los Santos. But and his key associates is Lamar Davis is his best friend, because Lamar Davis is he hangs around with Lamar, and he hangs him out with to fight against other gangster families who double cross him and make deals. But they were best friends, and they always stick together, and they always watch their backs. And that's for Mike. And when Franklin's around with Michael DeSanta, he's starting to become a mentor to Franklin. Like show him the way, give him advices. And somehow Franklin agrees. Somehow Franklin agrees, and he follows, and he respects, and Franklin respects Michael's advices when he's starting to become Franklin's mentor. And as for Trevor Phillips and Lester Kress, and also Chop the dog, but. Because Trevor Phillips, he's part of the partnership, and also Lester Kress, he's helpful to Franklin. And as for Chop, he's also the dog that he wants to be around with Franklin he wants to be his favorite owner, but he's just his care. And now for his unique gameplay abilities, as his driving his ability is driving focus. Franklin's unique special ability is slows down time while he is behind the wheel of any land vehicle. Because when he's driving in his vehicle, like any land vehicle, when you activate his ability, he slows down time while he's driving, because it will enhance his driving. And I'll tell you this is enhanced. Handling this ability is drastically it drastically sharpens his vehicle sights, allowing him to take incredibly tight turns, squeeze through traffic gaps, and avoid collisions at high speeds. So that is probably the ability that Franklin's ability is probably about. That he could take sharp turns or squeeze in tight traffics, and even go through traffic gaps, or probably avoid collisions at high speed, like avoid crashing when he's going fast. That's some ability that Franklin probably has in mind while he's driving. Probably is all about his driving when he's on the streets. And as for his backstory in early life, Franklin had a highly volatile and unstable childhood. He grew up without a father and lost his mother to a drug addiction at a very young age. He moved in with his grandparents, but following their deaths, he inherited a small home on Forum Drive alongside his eccentric Aunt Denise. So he probably this part here I said, he in his childhood he grew up without a father. So Franklin, he probably grew up without a father when he's a child, but and he lost his mother. He grew up, and when he lost his mother, that's probably I felt sad for him, because probably it's sad if he lost his mother, but because he lost his mother to a drug addiction at a very young age. But yeah, that's very sad. And he now he moves to his grandparents' home, and now he move on to a small house. But they seem like the only family, like the last part he had left, that he's in the that he lives in the home in Forum Drive alongside his eccentric known as his Aunt Denise, Denise Clinton. That's Franklin's aunt. So he hang around there during the game, and then he move on to another house up in the hills. But it seems like Franklin has two houses. So, it seemed like, but Franklin is probably doing all right. And now for number three protagonist is Trevor Phillips. Born in 1964, is a deeply unstable, highly dangerous, and unpredictable career criminal. I gotta say, when he's dangerous, he's definitely dangerous. Because his early life and military, his childhood. He's born in Canada. Trevor had a deeply traumatic and chaotic and chaotic upbringing. He grew up with a psychically abusive father and an emotionally abusive mother. He lived in 14 different homes, three care homes and two correctional facilities before adulthood. Wow, abusive father and an emotionally abusive mother. Jeez, seems like Trevor has a rough time. Like he has abusive family. Like, wow. Aren't they these two? Which one of them is even worse? Like who's much abusive? Like if it's in Michael's or Franklin's or even whoop, sorry. So like is it Michael or Franklin or Trevor? Because I think Trevor thinks he got the worst abusive of a family that he has. But I think he's like he said, like this part, he says, "My daddy is not nice to me."
My daddy was not nice to me.
Because my daddy is not nice to me. Okay. And then when he came back in this trailer, then he saw his mother, and he can't believe he just acts surprisingly, and he's just acting nervously that he thought his mother didn't get out. That was to see the look on Trevor's face, but he still loved his mother, but he's just cannot believe that his mother is in his trailer. That he cannot believe to see her. But it's probably a shock to Trevor. And and he has three homes, like the trailer and the other places of the call home. But he have different other places like Floyd's house, like his Floyd's house, his when Wade is his cousin. Floyd and Wade are cousins, and Trevor lives in Floyd's house, and but there are other homes that he rules, but somehow Trevor is a bit Trevor's all because he's all he's like chaotic. And as for military, he joined the Canadian Air Force and trained as a military pilot, but was quickly horribly discharged, laid off after a psychological evolution deemed him mentally unstable, because he knows how to fly and like planes and choppers, because he's an expert in the military. But he was highly trained, and he's quickly horrible discharged and laid off after a psychological evolution, and deemed himself mentally unstable. So he's unstable during he's fully trained, when he's a pilot. So perhaps we have to be watching careful, because if he's unstable, we will never know he will do. And his alliance is Trevor. Now for his alliance, Trevor eventually befriends Franklin, and serving as a aggressive but protective mentor figure. He may be aggressive mentor and protective of Franklin, because him and Franklin are starting to become best friends to each other. But yeah, it seems like Franklin is about to have two mentors, Michael and Trevor. But I prefer Michael. Michael is a very calm mentor and really give good advices. and then as for and he proves to be a fiercely loyal, if terrifying ally when the trio undercovers government corruption and takes down various criminal and corporate enemies in San Andreas. Yeah, because he's probably like to take down enemies, like when he likes hanging out with Lamar and Franklin. Like I probably haven't got the mission what it was, but it's probably when I forgot the mission what it was, the name, but it's like he's but he wants to go with a government agent, with the trio undercover agents government. He's probably he always looking up for scores, so like scores like such as like heists and other jobs. So he's ready for another task. And now now we're up to no, we don't want to up for this. We don't want to up for Trevor's unique ability. His ability that I'm about to explain is his unique ability is red mist, also known as rage mode. He don't his whole rage mode. Oh, you don't like to see him. You don't like to see him in rage, because I'll tell you, because this ability, which grants him near invincibility and allows him to deal double damage to enemies. When activated, Trevor enters a manic frenzy that turns the screen an orange-red tint, and introduces a distorted audio buzz and slightly slows down time. This combat focus and power makes him an unstoppable force during heavy firefights. Oh, because with this ability, with his red mist, also known as with this ability, known as is red mist, also known as rage mode. He may be invincible when his ability is activated. When his rage mode is activated, he may be invincible. But when his ability is not activated, then he is not invincible because he's not indestructible. He's probably invincible. But as much as I could tell, there's probably if he is or he is not invincible. But if he's not even shoot bullets right through him, if he's invincible while rage mode is active, and to give him double damage, if he maybe his melees, like melee weapons, or maybe his fists, maybe those are his double damages. But I'm probably think the guns that for him I think guns while he's in rage mode, I think it's probably only that he's probably only for his probably boost up his accurate shooting during gunfights, because it makes him when he's angry. But it turns red. But when you see the screen turns red into orange. The screen turns red into orange when he gets very angry. But because there's a mission called Rampage, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 rampages you have to do when you play as Trevor, because you don't want to mess with Trevor, because Trevor really will pick off whatever you have left one by one if you mess with him. Whatever insults, whoever throw at him, whatever nobody talks about him, and nobody treated him, and nothing else. Because whatever you do not ever make Trevor angry because it's like not like the Incredible Hulk. Like, don't make me angry. You don't like when Trevor is angry. Sorry, it's just a funny reference. So yeah, that's Trevor's unique ability. That he is rage, like very angry. So do not make angry with Trevor. Don't make him angry, or he'll knock out a tooth right out of the mouth. So now this is gonna be a fast-paced for this. This is the next is protagonist vehicles. So Michael's vehicle is just is the vehicle that his main vehicle he drives is called Obey Tailgater. It's a stretch 4-door car, and then I for the rims it's just I put $1 rims because he's he save up money, like he probably he's like a billionaire, something like that. But he's just still a father, but not he don't want to be a billionaire. Just only being a family father. And as for Franklin, his vehicle is a Bravado Buffalo S. It's a four-door car, and it's a really cool car that when he is drives around with Lamar, and I like it when he has it with around when he drive with Lamar during the mission, like called Franklin and Lamar. Well, that's just the beginning mission. When they stop at Simeon's and see his car that was parked up outside. And last but not least, that Trevor's vehicle is the truck called Kenneth Bonhi. It's like a pickup truck that is only 4-seated. It has a passenger. They have a passenger and a 2-seated in the back of the truck, but it's just a big open truck. It's just it seems alright, but it's good for off-road because Trevor lives in the desert in Sandy Shores. But it's a really cool truck. And now we're up to the final. Now we're up to the final is the antagonists of GTA. Well, there are two, but when I look it up, there's a primary antagonist. The antagonist is Devin Weston. Devin Weston is a billionaire, venture capitalist, and primary antagonist of Grand Theft Auto 5. Pompous and self-serving, he exploits and the game's protagonists to steal rare vehicles and secure corporate payouts, frequently using his massive wealth, a corrupt FIB connection, and Merryweather security to intimidate his targets. Seems like hearing this, it's like, wow, he seems like he has, like Michael said in the game, Devin Weston seems like he has all these connections. The FIB and Merryweather security to intimidate his targets. But he has all these connections, and also he's rich. And he's rich, and and when Lester say that how many percentage he owns Merryweather, his name, because when Lester look up, he 11%. That Lester say 11% that Devin Weston owns Merryweather, because Don Percival is CEO of Merryweather, because he went to Don, because Devin Weston went to Don Percival, that probably wants to use some Merryweather to protection, to intimidate, like scare to his targets. And also to the protagonists like Michael, Trevor, and also Franklin, because and to steal rare vehicles and secure corporate payouts. Like he wants to keep the money, and he wants to pay them, but he's gonna hold their money. But Franklin and the other and Trevor and Michael, they like the Devil Weston is like they're holding their payouts after the last jobs they do when they do for him. But seems like Devin Weston is probably holding the money back away from them, but without their pay after the job is done. But man, it seems like that. And then but Devin Weston become a whole lot much evil. The evil antagonist, that when his lawyer Molly, that he got sucked into the plane's jet engine, and then he got mad, and then he wants to get revenge, and then throughout the whole game. He's capable a whole lot, much bad to worse. And now for his backstory. He's born in 1962. He made millions during the tech bubble and by investing in various industries early on. Though he boasts about bankrupting more companies than he was built. So he's probably investing in various and boasts about bankrupting more companies than he was built. So he's probably he wants to make millions. So he wants to make his one of the three protagonists to do his job for him. Well, ain't that quite a surprise? Because ain't that a protagonist he wants that is like offshore. And all these profits. And his personality, he characterized by his insufferable demeanor, often patronizing the protagonist by lecturing them on his wealth and friendship, while simultaneously plotting their demise. Wow. While he patronizing and demeanor often often patronizing the protagonist by assuring them of his wealth and friendship. Wow, he is a very evilness and very cruelty to the protagonist. I gotta say, he is really absolute worse than Steve Haynes, because he really needs to get put down. But at the end of the game, that Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, that they're at the car, and then they open the trunk of the car, that he's tied up when his tape is on his mouth, and they say a few words and they like to say to him. And then they say after they speak to him while he's taped up and while he's wrapped up, they close the trunk and they push in the car, and then the car fell down and then downhill, and then that's the end of him. That's the end of him, because they're gonna, and now Michael and Trevor Trevor and Franklin, they're gonna move on with their lives, but they're still gonna be friends to each other. But Michael's got things to move on to his movies, and Franklin is gonna go on to a life that, Michael's going to make movies. Franklin is gonna move on to a life that he's going to be, and Trevor, he's got some things that he's got to be to himself. Like, Trevor is just being himself, and that is why he is probably a devil. That's the end of Devil Weston, because but it's probably what part of Devil Weston? I don't like the ending part. He wants Franklin to make a choice, like A, kill Michael, B, kill Trevor, or C, death wish. because as for me, I choose C, Death Wish, because because if I choose Death Wish, Michael and Trevor will live at the end of the game. But if I choose kill Michael, then Michael will no longer there anymore in the game. But if I choose to kill Trevor, then Trevor will no longer there in the game anymore either. So, what I choose at the ending of that game of GTA 5, I choose Death Wish, because I don't want any protagonists of GTA games to be all gone, because I don't like that kind of endings. So I want to keep the main protagonists of GTAs alive. So I want to keep them all alive. So I pick C. But it depends if you players want to pick which ending. If you want a perfect ending, if you want the main characters to be there, it doesn't matter. Because it's all up to you. If you want a perfect ending or any endings you want. So now that is all for today's video, and feel free to like and subscribe and turn on notifications and comments down below, and stay tuned for more of stay tuned for more future videos on my channel, because coming next is the coming next video is the game that the game that I miss so much, but it's part of my memory that I used to play. Is when the PS3 was obsolete, that is no longer made anymore. That the next game that I'm gonna give tips and review is the House of the Dead 4. So now because I miss playing this game, and it's on for the PS3, and this game is bought to and by the way, and before I go, this game is also and before I go, this video is brought to you by brought to you that coming to June 16th to Dead by Daylight. There's a new killer in town, because there's a killer has ready for a big grip to his victims and crush them into tin cans. And also he's gonna grab his machete and put on his mask, because he is ready to come into the month of June 16th, because he is number one named Jason Voorhees. Oh, I cannot wait for him to come by. He is the newest killer in town, and he's ready to haunt his victims for another of a blood from his own machete. So stick around for him on Dead by Daylight, coming in June 16 when he comes by. So Jason Voorhees is gonna come in June 16th, and is gonna do 16, and then I will see, and I hopefully you enjoyed this video, and then I will see you all into the next level, and then have a great day.